Yo, guys, welcome back to the Modern Creative Podcast, episode 33. What is up? It's your boy Alberto. How are you doing? I'm well. Thank you for asking. Quick life updates. I have been going so hard working on this podcast. I have been editing a ton. I have been scheduling, coordinating with guests, and I've been getting some fire guests. And I have a lot more in the future it's going to be so good. Like, if you guys are not subscribed to the podcast yet, I highly recommend you hitting that subscribe on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, on Google Podcasts, on Spotify. Hit that subscribe and let's get those numbers up for me. I really appreciate that. We got some great gems that are going to drop pretty soon. But anyways, I am doing well. I have been working a lot outside of the podcast, been doing, again, typical stuff, business, shooting a lot, coordinating a lot, having a lot of meetings, been working out like crazy 4 to 5 times a week, if not sometimes 6 times a week if we want to include my soccer games. That has been great. Been doing a lot of cardio, been doing a lot of weights. We recently got this little treadmill for our standing table since my wife and I both work from home, and she wanted to get some calories in while she's working because sometimes she has like downtime, and so we got a little treadmill for about $300. And so yeah, these tables, we both got the same exact tables. I got it, I believe, probably in Costco, but I'll have it linked in the description if you guys are interested. And we're able to stand this table up with the press of a button, which is pretty cool. But right now, obviously, I have it sitting down. But I catch myself standing up a lot as I'm editing because I get tired of sitting a lot. This chair is comfortable, but it's not that comfortable. And plus, I don't think we're meant to be sitting for no more than a few hours in a day. And the fact that some people have to like sit for 8 hours straight is kind of insane to me. So yeah, we invested in a treadmill. She's able to knock out 4 to 5 miles a day while being clocked in, which I think is pretty cool. But I also tried it out yesterday. After the gym, did a little bit of editing, then had dinner, and I decided to watch a vlog that's like 25 minutes long, and I put the treadmill here and I just walked it and watched at the same time, and that made it so seamless for me. It made things very easy. It didn't feel like I was like working out or anything like that, and I got myself a solid 2,000 steps just right there within 22 minutes, which was equivalent to a mile. So I'm gonna start doing that probably daily. I mean, we have it already here, so it's very small, it's very portable, and why not? So that's trying to get my steps up. It's very important to keep your health in check, man. I swear I can't like preface this anymore. Like, I did a wedding this past weekend and it was quite warm. It was probably around 79 to like 80 degrees, if not maybe a little bit more. We were like pretty inland from the coast. And so one of the photographers that I was working with, who I just met, her second shooter was, I mean, I'm not trying to fat shame anybody, but she was a little bit in the heavier side, and she during like a crucial moment, like during the ceremony, she had to sit down and like take a breather and like stop working because she felt like she was gonna pass out or something. And I'm like, damn, that sucks, man. Like, I hate that you had to go through that, but at the same time, it's like, man, like, you're getting paid to do this. Like, maybe I'm just being a freaking prick, and I'm like, yo, man, no excuses. Like, you're getting hired for something, you need to freaking do it. I can't afford to have you take a breather because you're just not in the greatest shape ever. I don't know. Maybe I'm going overboard, but I'm just saying it how it is. So please don't kill me for my honesty. But forget all that. Let's talk about Sony, man. They just dropped 2 different cameras today, and we're talking about the Sony A7C Mark II and the Sony A7C. I swear, these camera names are getting worse and worse, man. These are 2 full frame cameras, and again, I don't know what Sony doing, man. They're like literally cannibalizing their camera lines, in my opinion, with so many different cameras. The A6700 literally just came out like, I think like 2 months ago, and now we have 2 new full frame cameras, which I guess, I mean, it's all about budgeting, I think. This camera is pretty much the big brother of the A7 Mark IV. It pretty much has the exact same sensor. It does the exact same things, but it does have like enhanced AI autofocus, which to me, the autofocus is already amazing in my opinion. So it's like, how much better do you need your autofocus to get? The A7C Mark II is retail for $2,200 US, and the A7CR is retail for $3,000 US. If you're interested in these cameras and you need to know the exact specs and you got to make sure that this camera is perfect for you, I highly recommend you just search on YouTube. All the new videos is dropped today, so there's like a ton of videos on these exact cameras. I'll give you guys a short answer right now. If you guys have a crop sensored camera and you guys are looking to upgrade to a full frame, then sure, this is a pretty good camera, because this, like I said, the A7C Mark II has $2,200 and the A7 IV is retail about $2,500 to $2,600. So it's a pretty, you're gonna save yourself a couple $100 right there. 33 megapixels, shoots 422 10-bit, 4K 30 frames per second, 4K 60 frames per second with a slight crop as well. But if I remember correctly, this does not have 4K 120 frames per second. So again, it really depends on your needs. It really depends on the style of content that you shoot. I personally wouldn't get it because I already have the A7S Mark III. But say if I wanted to upgrade my A7 III, which is currently my B camera right now, and it only shoots 4K 30 frames per second, and it doesn't have, it does have S-Log 3, but it's not capable of getting the fullness of S-Log 3 because I'm shooting at 8-bit rather than 10-bit. But if I wanted to upgrade to that, sure, I guess I could go with that camera, but I personally would want to upgrade to like either an FX6 or maybe an FX3, because the style of content that I need something that's going to shoot for a long time and not overheat on me, because these cameras are notorious on overheating, especially these smaller compact cameras that just dropped, including the A6700. They're prone to overheat on you, and I cannot afford for that to happen on my shoots. In other news, during one of my shoots this week, I was talking to my B shooter and we were discussing business and whatnot. And he had asked me, he's like, dude, like how many meetings do you do a week? And I told him, like, I'm averaging around 3 to 5 meetings per week. And he was like, man, that's really impressive. That's a lot of meetings to take on. And now that I sit down and think about it and like reflect, I'm like, that is kind of a lot of meetings, but those meetings are very crucial for me to like lock those deals, you know? So today I thought about like, hey, it's a good idea to talk about how I personally land my own clients. Step number 1, get portfolio work. I don't care if you have to do it for free. I don't care if you have to be dirt cheap. Just get some sort of portfolio work. If you want to work with realtors and do real estate content, hit up a realtor, go on Instagram, hashtag San Diego Realtor, hashtag Los Angeles Realtor, hashtag Louisiana Realtor, hashtag Austin Realtor, whatever you're from. Hit them up. You're going to see a bunch of individuals, a bunch of realtors right there. Click on their profile, send them a DM like, hey, let me do your walkthrough video. Let me do some talking heads content about your services on the house, just to get your feet wet and get some portfolio work. So again, like when I first started, I did a lot of grunt work. I did a lot of cheap to little no pay work. I knew that I needed some portfolio work. Like I cannot expect to get paid 6 figures if I have 0 portfolio to show for it. I can't just tell someone like, hey, I'm gonna charge you $3,000 for this video with 0 references. Like I can't just do that. It doesn't sit right with me. And as a smart individual and a smart business person, I personally wouldn't want to invest into somebody that has no portfolio work. And I'm not gonna just cough up $3,000 on hopefully getting a great video. So it just does not make sense. Get your portfolio in order. Step number 2, you got to put your work out there. Start an Instagram page, start a YouTube channel, or start a Vimeo channel, just so you could put that content out for the world to see. Going back to the Instagram, I personally had to separate my personal account to my business account. So I recommend you to start a business account, something separate from the actual everyday social posts that you're going to be posting on your stories or on your hard feed or whatever. So start a business page. That to me has taken off for me ever since. Right there, I'm able to post all the content that I personally would never post in my personal page, but now I have the freedom to post it on my business page, and I get to promote that as much as I can. And as far as the YouTube channel or Vimeo, I personally would recommend YouTube because it is free. I will post all my long form content on the YouTube channel. Going back to the realtor example, in case a realtor says, okay, you got my attention, you want to do a free video for me, do you have any portfolio work? Because you got to think about it. If they were to want you to do a walkthrough video or photos, stills for their actual listing, it actually costs them time and maybe money to get that specific place locked down just for you to shoot. So it's still going to cost them something. Once he says, okay, you got my interest, let me see your work. There, you're able to share a YouTube link of your latest video. Here's an example of a walkthrough video that I've done in the past. Here is a Google Link Drive folder where you can see all my listing photos. Here is my Instagram as well, so you can see more work if you're interested. Step number 3, have a website. Having a website is automatically going to propel you to the next level. You're not going to just look like some kid with a camera that's doing this as a side hobby. This will have people take you a little bit more serious, and this will also help people who are potentially interested in your service to get to know a little bit about you and also to get a sense of your style. Trust me, I have countless examples of people who've hired me and tell me that, hey, I actually like your website. Your work is very amazing. I actually enjoyed reading the About You page as well to get to know you more. And that right there, it's like, damn, like this actually does work, man. Like, yes, you could get away with social media and that's it. But like, if you really want to get to the next level and hit the 6-figure marker, if not more, then you need to have some sort of website. There's also been cases where a business is looking for a photographer and they go through me. Since they already hired me for the video, they say, hey, do you have access to photography? I personally don't do photography, but I know a ton of people in my area that do photography. I personally like to show them their Instagram page so they have a sense of their kind of work and whatnot. But I also make sure that the person I'm referring to always has a website, because the people that I'm dealing with are very serious about their investment, and I got to make sure that they are going to deliver. So even for me as a creative, I'm also making sure the people that I work with also have a website, because to me, having a website gives me a sense of like, okay, this person takes their craft very seriously, and those are the kind of people that I personally want to work with. Once you have the inquiry down via DM or email, the next thing I have to do is log them in a Zoom meeting. To me, having the Zoom meeting is the make or break on the deal. The reason I say this is because we get to actually see each other face to face. Granted, it is virtual, but this is the most efficient way of having these meetings. Right there, we have the chance to actually have a good conversation, not just via DM and email where things could get misinterpreted very easily. Right there, they get a chance to get to know who I am and what I'm about. During this meeting, this also gives me a chance to ask them the right questions. I need to know the objectives of the project. I need to know who this project for, who's your target audience, etc., etc., etc. And asking the right questions is going to make them feel like, damn, like this guy came prepared. This guy really clearly takes this seriously. And you know what? I think it might be worth investing our hard-earned dollars to make this project happen. So guys, it is very important to set up these virtual meetings. I can easily say if I have a meeting 7 out of 10 times, I'm going to lock that deal down. This will never even happen because I did not like being in front of the camera. I didn't even like freaking sending emails to people because I thought it was very cringe and it was very not me. But like, you know what? Like I had to like suck it up. Like if I really want to do this, I need to get uncomfortable and learn this. And so naturally, my first few meetings, of course, they were very cringe if I could look back at it. But like, I recommend you even just do a trial run on somebody, on a family member, on a loved one. Do a mock Zoom meeting. One thing I've done in the past with a colleague of mine is like, she wanted to do a mock meeting. And so I said, hey, I'll be the inquiry and you'll be the videographer. And we had meetings like that, and we'd be screen recorded via Zoom, and then we'd watch it and analyze ourselves and figure out like, you know what, I could have done this better, I could have done that better. It's like sports guys. Like if I played football, so we would watch film almost every day to see our mistakes and see what we could improve upon. The same concept goes to here. We would record our meetings, and then we would just see how we would mess up, where I would stumble my words, my hand gestures, all that good stuff. So you got to take the extra mile to perfect your craft. So now like I could confidently get on a meeting with almost anybody and probably anybody at this point, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to deliver. Once your meeting's done, it's time to send your proposal. What I personally like to do is I like to use my CRM to send my proposals, invoices, contracts, etc., etc. So I personally use HoneyBook, and if you're interested in getting 25% off for your first year, click the link in the description. It's template based and it's pretty easy to use. It takes a little bit of time to set up the way you want to design it, but once you have it done, it's pretty much simple and automated. I vividly remember a client that I'm currently working with, and we had set up a Zoom meeting. Everything looked great, and then I sent the proposal via my HoneyBook. I vividly remember the email when they said like, hey, the proposal was very beautiful. I could tell that you actually take this very seriously, and we actually want to invest in working with you. Bro, that gig was like $10,000 and we're still working. So at this point, it's around $25,000 total. So guys, little things like that do matter. When you're working with top dogs, little things like that do matter for them. They pay attention to those little details. They're not going to just invest $10,000 on a kid with just a social media page. That's not gonna work, man. Sure, you may get lucky here and there, but like if you want to work with these like suits, you gotta really level up your game. And last but not least, you gotta freaking deliver. I try to make things so simple for them and also provide a great experience. That includes the pre-production, the production, and the post-production. And trust me guys, if you can deliver, I promise you guys, those clients will always come back to you. One last bonus tip will be, if you deliver the content, everything worked out great, everyone's happy, you got paid, they got the content, we're fine, always follow up. I actually did this yesterday and I followed up with a previous client that I worked with probably like 3 months back. And I follow up by pretty much saying, hey, what's going on? I see your video was pretty successful on your socials. I see you got a lot of eyeballs and a lot of brand awareness. Again, if you guys are ever in need of content creation, I'm always here to help you guys out. They literally responded and saying, so funny, I actually thought about you yesterday, but I completely forgot to email you, but I'm glad you emailed me back. And now we're set to do 2 more projects in the near future. So I'm telling you guys, follow up with the people you work with in the past. They say it's easier to work with clients that you've worked with in the past rather than looking for new clients. But that is it for me guys. Hopefully you guys learned a thing or two. If you guys have applied to any of these tips, feel free to let me know how it turned out for you. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I will make sure to respond to them. Or if you want to send me a DM, I'm always there for you guys to help. So yeah, man, if you guys haven't hit the subscribe button on the channel, please do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on the YouTube channel. Again, if you guys are interested in the HoneyBook, the CRM that I'm personally using, that's been generating me a lot of dollars, feel free to hit the link in the description. Right there, you will get 25% off on your first year. All right, guys, take it easy. Peace.